how can the history of like nuclear energy guide how we do policy related to AI?
Yeah, I think the nuclear policy is often used as an analogy for AI. Like, powerful do you use technology? You want to spread it for good, but you're worried about spreading it for bad. Um, but I think where I really honed in on in this article was around the risks of allowing for disasters. So thinking about nuclear energy often makes me a bit sad because we had such hope and potential. And if you actually calculate the number of deaths that happen as a result of, um, inhaling the fumes of cooking with coal or not having access to warmth and energy, like there's so many more deaths that occur from an absence of energy than that have occurred because of nuclear disasters. But we're in democratic societies, and you need a social license to do big policy change and to do new innovations. So with AI at the moment, we're kind of at an interesting time. So like I've been looking at recent polling and some of them are saying that about 60% of US voters believe that the government should have strict rules to make AI safe, even if it slows innovation. So there's already a bit of a momentum saying, oh, hang on, bit concerned about this new technology. How are we feeling about it? And there's no easier way to lose the race to China, as we have with nuclear energy, for example, than the public saying, we do not want this here. This is a democratic nation and we're voting accordingly. And what might trigger that is if a large scale AI disaster happens, whether it's a autonomous cyber attack taking off critical infrastructure, or it's some terrible things that happen to a vulnerable population like children because of AI systems. And my concern is I want the US government to be poised and ready to identify risks as they emerge, and if and when they materialize, quickly act to ameliorate their impacts or prevent them from having significant impacts. Because if we don't do that, there's a risk that the public is turned off from AI. China can race ahead, and the US is constrained because folk, just like we did with nuclear energy, say, hey, we should not be touching this stuff. We don't want it here. And so that really makes me think, how can you create a government that has the understanding of emerging issues in AI and emerging risks, doesn't necessarily take heavy regulatory action beforehand on hypothetical scenarios because you don't want to stymie growth and innovation, but does have the capacity and agility to act quickly if and when it's needed.
Right. Do you think people will blame AI? So if something like this happened, like for example, some scenarios of I can like think of that could cause this, like you have some like biological virus being developed by AI, but surely there's like one person that uses the ChatGPT uncensored version and they get the recipe, but then they have to go in the lab and actually do it. Do you think AI will be blamed for that? Like yeah, maybe like yeah, like with self-driving cars, maybe if a self-driving car just like crashes into someone, yeah, that okay. I'm taking away my questions because yes, I think AI will yes, I think AI will be blamed for this. It actually
Well, yeah, we've had a
actually makes
really slow rollout of self-driving cars.
yes, yes,
Um, I guess another thing is like it may not be a complete halt of technology, but rather like just a real slowdown or really restrictive regulatory environment that inhibits the ability of AI developers, deployers, to actually be like innovative with AI. And that concerns me. So you talk about this bio side of things. Yeah, I think if something really bad happened in that space, maybe it wouldn't stop AI completely, but you'd get a lot more checks and balances in this. Like you'd have a lot more stringent regulations called for as a result.